All right, sixth garden tour of 2025. We're gonna start here with this blueberry plant that I think I've been looking at it like it's not doing great, but I am hopeful for the new growth. Maybe that one will adjust a little bit better. It kind of looks like this stem might be dying and only this one surviving. So we'll see what happens. When we come over here, we have the surprise pineapple. I thought the pineapple I planted in here was dead, but actually it's produced two pineapple heads that pineapples could grow from. And we have the star blueberry here, still doing great. I really wish I'd just gotten two of these varieties. It would be so much better. That variety just does so well. Some scallion here. It's doing great. Another blueberry back here. Have my fig tree. The figs are done now. I ate about 2 or 3 of them, and I lost a couple. Like they just overripe or just disappeared. I don't know if animals got them, but I had about 2 or 3 of them, which that was the first time it's produced. And I think I've had this tree about 4 years, and that was the first time, so that was exciting. I feel like I always skip over the sweet potato here. So this is the sweet potato, one of them, doing well, running wild on the deck, but lots of runners from the sweet potato. I'm going to come over into this first bed here. The sorrel is doing awesome. These guys right here, the Jamaican sorrel, hibiscus, it's doing great in there. These brassicas are still here. I don't know, I think I was just expecting them to have bolted in summer, and they haven't. So now it's kind of like, well, let's see what happens. Like this one actually looks like it's trying to form a cabbage head. Like, will that actually happen? We'll see. Same deal here. They got a lot of attack from caterpillars. And that was my fault. I've learned for next year, like I need to just cover them early, and if I see caterpillars, take care of it early, because the caterpillars will keep going and they will eat everything. Like, look, it looks like a little cabbage head. No leaves, but a little head forming. So I'm kind of just leaving it alone and watching it and seeing what happens. This one should be purple broccoli. And so that one shouldn't form up a head. But yeah, really interesting. This, I feel like, is a carrot that I don't think I planted there this year. So I don't know if the seed was just hanging out for a couple years and then decided to sprout up. And then that is a sweet potato from last year. This was a sweet potato bed last year that I guess I missed one, and so it sprouted back. I'm pretty sure this is a weed, so this is gonna have to get pulled later. And then we have the African marigold here, still holding on. And in this bed, another African marigold, basically done. This was an annual I bought. It went crispy really quick in the heat. And then we have a flower or a pepper here that's supposed to be a really spicy pepper. I'm just shocked that this one's still alive. That is a Turkish sweet pepper. They get really long and kind of curled. There's another annual, just like this first one that burnt. There's a Scotch bonnet, a hollyhock, which looks like it might have spider mites or something going on with it. That was a cosmos. This is another pepper plant. This is a jalapeno. And we come over this way. Another cosmos there. We have shishito pepper here. This is coulis thyme or Cuban oregano. That's Spanish oregano next to it. Spanish lavender. Another hollyhock in the back. Another Scotch bonnet in the back. Right here, this is the perilla plant. Perilla leaves and zinnia in the middle. There and there. And then way in the back there is a coreopsis and a strawberry plant. All right. And then this was a really exciting discovery. So here I had potatoes, harvested the potatoes, and then I had what was kind of like roots coming off and some leaves, but like no seed potato. I decided to plant it anyway because why not? And this one actually sprouted. So typically, like, you have to have a seed potato to grow a potato. So I'm really interested to see what happens. Also, only 1 out of 3 sprouted, so, or at least so far. So we'll see what happens. That was exciting to find. And then more sweet potatoes here. That first one were purple sweet potatoes. These, I believe, are the regular orange sweet potatoes. That one here. And something was going through and just like eating all the leaves. So a lot of it looks like that. And now that's kind of sprouting back, which is great. This one went in a lot later. I'm surprised this one was really doing much. It was just like, oh, I have to get this in. And it's been thriving. And then that one over there. So another 3 things of sweet potatoes. And then this bed is taking the year off, but it has carrot that's gone to seed, and it has a mealy blue sage here, and a whole lot of grass and weeds that I need to get rid of. I think I need to maybe pull everything, and then I wanted to cover it and kind of smother things. So we'll see what happens. The bindweed is pretty terrible, and it gets into the bed. And then obviously lots and lots of grass has gotten into the bed. I need to work on that. Here we have the grapevine coming over the top there. And then at the bottom is a carrot right there. We have a cucumber here that's holding on. This guy. It's a Turkish variety of cucumber. They made those really big cucumbers. We have a basil plant that's it's bolted, so it's flowered. We have a Scotch bonnet here, and nice and big. Back there was a African marigold. Here we have another shishito pepper. Lots of peppers on it. We have eggplant here. It's I believe a Chinese variety of eggplant. And then back here we have another pepper. This is kind of a mystery pepper. Not sure what variety it actually is. I think it was supposed to be a serrano. And then if we go into the next bed, we have the African basil here up front with all the blooms on it. I really just got it because of the blooms, more so than using the basil. Like when I bought it, it had blooms on it. But I should probably pick and try some of the basil. And then under there is a strawberry plant. And then back there used to be the tomatoes, and they're kind of done. And then we come this way. It's really in here and amongst the weeds is also a tomatillo plant that has fallen over. So it's like, which leaves here are weeds versus tomatillo plant, although it looks like the pieces that fell over the tomatillo is not doing so great there and there. And then maybe the whole plant isn't doing great. Yeah, I think that tomatillo plant might be dead. And we have our zinnias. And then we have more jalapenos here, and shishito peppers back there, and the lemongrass or fever grass there. And then this is the bigger tomatillo plant with like a couple tomatillos on there. Now that other one is dead, I don't know that this one will be able to produce any more past like these little guys that it already has going. because they need a friend to pollinate. So this might be it for the tomatillos, which is totally fine. This was my first successful year of growing them. I've been trying to grow them for about probably about 4 years. This was the first successful year, so I'm pretty happy just to have had, success, even if it's now died. And then we have strawberries under there, and this strawberry plant has been really interesting because it seems like its number one mission has been sending out runners. So it has made that strawberry. There's one there, there's another one behind it. Like, it just keeps sending out runners, which I'm totally fine with. I just reroute them into the bed and keep expanding it. Maybe this will become my strawberry bed, This bed does get quite a bit of shade and protection, which maybe that will help the strawberries last. There's one of the coreopsis back there. And then if we move here to the fruit trees, this is a Barbados cherry fruit tree. It's just been kind of hanging out. And in the back over there is a pineapple guava tree. It's not related to the guava family. This is just a decorative tree, but this is my desert willow. Into our pomegranate tree, which has done so well since being pulled to the front. It used to be way back there, and now since I moved it up here, it's doing so much better. And then we have the pond here. We have the plum tree back there, and the pear tree here. And coming around. So in here, this is really like the blackberry bed, but I do need to get in there and prune out some of these blackberries because it's just too much, definitely taken over. But here in the front, we have the blue mealy sage, which is also doing quite well with the blackberries. That used to be a leek that's gone to seed, and I'm just leaving it. It'll seed itself again, and maybe one of these days I'll actually harvest a leek. I keep just letting them go to seed instead of harvesting them. And then, all the blackberries. Lots and lots of blackberries here, which I need to come in and just cut a lot of this out. But then also under there is a strawberry. It's a strawberry hiding under that blackberry. So that is this bed. And as we come around, in this next bed, we have the Korean mint here, which I should probably cut back, and I think it might spring back enough and maybe rebloom in enough time. Not sure, but I should probably cut that back because I think these blooms are spent. They're done. I'm growing it mostly for the bees. The bees really love it. And then we have the this is a huckleberry that planted itself here. I just left it alone. I grew huckleberry last year, but I never actually really liked it. Like, it's not something that you eat fresh. Doesn't taste good fresh, at least not to me. So I didn't grow it this year, but it decided to grow itself, so I left it, and I've just been harvesting them as they ripen and freezing them. So eventually I can make a batch of huckleberry jam. And so kind of just collecting it, and then I'll try the jam, see how I feel about the jam. If I don't like the jam and it reseeds itself again next year, I will pull it up, because then I'll just know that I don't like the plants or the fruit itself, and I won't let it do this and take over a good portion of the bed. And then here we also have a tomato plant. There's just one tomato plant, but it definitely suffered some damage from a tomato hornworm, which turns out also likes huckleberries. That's why you'll see some of the huckleberries look like this. I just pulled one off of this huckleberry like 2 days ago, so I'm sure there's more in there. But the tomato has decided to keep going, and it's leaning this way and actually has, you know, greenery. It's fighting, it's trying. And when we go around to the other side, you'll see like some of them actually have blooms that they're trying to produce on. This is a dahlia. There's a nice bloom of it. For sure, my best year so far with this dahlia. So I planted this plant in like 2019, fall of 2019. The nursery was like, yeah, it'll bloom this year. Didn't. Grew the next year, still didn't bloom. Grew the next year, still didn't bloom. I think 2022 I maybe got one bloom, and since then maybe like one or two, and then this year it's just been continuous blooms. And I mean, it's even down there at this point. It's fallen and it's out just everywhere. It's doing really well. While we're here, there's another this is another of the Korean mint that has planted itself over here into this other bed. And we have some strawberries here. There's strawberries on both sides of this dahlia. More Kuli thyme or Korean oregano, the variegated variety. This is a weed. I'm gonna get rid of it now. I kind of used it in the super heat to like protect the strawberries and the stuff under it, but now it's gonna get pulled up today. And then here is a climbing rose. Rose blooms on it, although it looks like something is happening to I'm not sure what that is. That's interesting. What's going on to the rose buds? There are the blooms, but even the blooms kind of look like they had a tear in them or something like that. And then come over here. This is another mint or a basil that volunteered itself here. And there is a shishito pepper right here, nice and tall. I believe it's shishito. Nope, jalapeno pepper. This is a jalapeno pepper, getting really tall. And have a wall here of zinnias. Have chives that have bloomed. There's another Turkish pepper right there. Here's the rose. Loop around here. The rose. More zinnias. This is lavender martini agastache or agastache. And between the agastache and that weed, there is a shishito pepper under there. So I'm going to have to, pull up the weed and maybe trim this guy back to make sure that that pepper can get some light. And then there's a Scotch bonnet here doing really well. This one's the only one who's produced for me so far. Nothing on it right now, but I've gotten a few peppers from it this season. And then here is the tomato again, like I was saying. I believe, yeah, there's see a little a little flower bud on there. And then there is another eggplant here. I thought I saw that it had an eggplant on it. Something might have happened to it. There was an eggplant right there. And then under here is another shishito pepper. One more scallion. And then right back there you can see I have a little watermelon. And there's actually another one here hiding under there too. And so yeah, that is the 6th garden tour of 2025.